Good morning to you all. My topic is perceptions of Sri Lankan parents on using corporal punishment for their children. This study was conducted in last February and March in selected 4 districts. So this is how I outline my presentation. When I go to the definition for the corporal punishment, especially there is no any universally accepted definition for corporal punishment. Therefore, I adapted the definition followed by the Sri Lankan scientist. It is more use of physical force to a child, causing the child only the pain, not a kind of physical injury. The result expect is just to change the behavior of the child or get the control over the child. But the definitions varies according to the cultural rituals and expectations. When it comes to the history of corporal punishments, it runs to the ancient times. But intensity of using corporal punishment is differ culture to culture. When it comes to the Sri Lankan context, there are many studies already reveal that in the ancient time, corporal punishment was not in the mainstream of the Sri Lankan culture. There were several kings from the 1st century AD, King Woharika, even the king who could be found in 13th century, Vijayabahu III, those kings prohibited kind of punishment for children, even for adults. When it goes to the Western society, Quinin, who was a philosopher in 1st century AD, and Rousseau, Locke, also philosophers who were leading philosophers in the European society in the middle era, also discussed to moderate using of corporal punishment to children. So the conclusion is corporal punishment was there. At the same time, there were certain arguments to moderate it. So that means they have already found that negative consequences of using corporal punishment even at that time. So in the Sri Lankan society, it is found that colonial era, especially the British time, it was emphasized to Sri Lankan culture, especially through their educational ordinances. They allowed to use caning and other sort of punishments to make children correct and discipline them. So with the time, it has became an integral part of the society. Now nobody can avoid it. So in the present society, family, school, probation homes and everywhere, it is widely used. On the other hand, it is widely accepted. At the same time, after ratifying the UN Convention on Child Rights in 1989, the child became a kind of a key person within the international arena. Before that, the children's issues were addressed from the other sectors, health policies, educational policies and so forth. But after 1989, children received a kind of important recognition. So after that, sociologists and medical legal professionals, psychologists, child care professionals, so more discussed about the negative consequences of using corporal punishment for children. In that background, the objective of my study is to assess the perception of Sri Lankan parents on corporal punishment and the prevalence of using it within the Sri Lankan context. It has selected 4 districts, Gol, Colombo, Polonnaruwa and Batticaloa. Out of 4 districts, it was selected 4 DS divisions from each district, and at the end 1 GN, Grama Seva Niladhari division from each divisional secretariat division. Totally 120 respondents were interviewed by using research assistants who were graduates, well trained on the subject matters. Sample selection was done using the household list available with the Grama Niladhari using the simple random sampling method. It was collected both qualitative and quantitative methods. In terms of the characteristics of the parents, the majority of the respondents were mothers, and strikingly, more than 40% of the respondents have achieved the access to education up to GCO level, and similar amount of parents up to GCA level. Then age category, more 30 to 40 years of age category and 40 to 50 years of age category. At the same time, in terms of the income sources of the respondents, nearly 1/3 of the parents below the nearly 1/3 of the parents are above the 15 rupees per month income category, and others are varied. In terms of the limitations of the study, this was a very time consuming kind of study, but we had very small amount of time to build up a rapport and to make observations. Though this kind of research, it requires a lot of observations to come into a correct conclusions. So the findings are organized in that way. I have identified use of corporal punishments, types of corporal punishments, circumstances in which parents use corporal punishments, and their expectations by using the corporal punishments. Also, it was tried to identify the background, how did they perceive that concept, and also though they use the corporal punishment, whether they are aware about any other methods, and also whether they are aware about the negative consequences of using corporal punishments. These are the findings. Out of 120 respondents, 74% of parents use corporal punishment. This is the district distribution of the same results. Gold district shows the highest, then the Polonnaruwa. Colombo shows a kind of moderate results. This kind of depicts of children. Then in terms of the types of corporal punishments, it was identified nearly 8 types of corporal punishments. Hitting with the hand is the most frequent method that the mothers use. Then the second highest is 27% of parents use beating with a stick. Then caning, kneeling down, pulling the ear, and all the methods are still existing. In terms of the types of punishment, the same results, district distribution. Right? In terms of the circumstances in which parents use corporal punishments, it was highlighted that 17 circumstances that parents get angry and tend to use corporal punishment. So mainly 30% of the parents use corporal punishment when the children get disobedient. Also stubbornness. So there are certain things, get rid of tobacco use, stealing, love affairs, many issues. I am not reading all, so still these are the factors. In terms of the expected results by using corporal punishment, it was highlighted 4 expectations. 1/3 of the parents use corporal punishment to bring up their children in proper manner. The second highest acquired by the parents, so they want to emphasize the importance of education. So they hit children when they watch TV, when they are going with friends rather than keeping their studies, so they get punished. Then 20% of parents wanted to, when child make a mistake, then they punish because they want to stop by doing it again. So another 20% of parents wants to keep away from their children from unsuitable things. That means bad companionship. Maybe for small children, then they are running away for some dangerous things. So if they want to stop, then they use corporal punishment. These are the same results, district segregation. The Colombo is at the highest. So their main idea is to bring up their child in proper manner. So similarly, other districts also show results. So when it comes to the background of perceiving corporal punishment, so what is the highest? Then 33%, slightly bit higher than 1/3 of the parents. So school is the main place where they get the idea. Then the second highest is the parents. So they intentionally inherited the practice from their family. Then others, society and other factors. This other factor included the answer that I have perceived in my own way also. Same results, district segregations. It was try to understand the number of parents, 74% who use the corporal punishment. So it was try to understand whether they believe that this is the best practice of disciplining children. Then 100% of them believe that this is not the best practice. They know that there may be some positive better way, but they not known to them. This is only available with them. That is the ultimate result. So strikingly, all the parents who use corporal punishment quite well aware about the negative consequences of using corporal punishment. It was highlighted nearly 7 factors. Then depression, mental disorders. Then 23% of the parents, or nearly 1/4 of the respondents, know that if they use corporal punishment, children get aggression toward themselves, towards parents. They know that. Then the second highest, 18%, then they know that children, we use corporal punishment to stop their stubbornness, but they know that this may be help to become more stubborn. They are aware about it, but they use. So even they know that there may be some mental disorder in their adulthood, depression, sometimes bodily injuries also. Same results, district segregations. Yeah. So I was highlighted that the percentage of parents use corporal punishment, types of corporal punishments they use, the circumstances in which they use corporal punishment, then the expected results. After that, root causes, their awareness on other alternative methods, and the negative consequences of corporal punishment. Based on all these factors, these are the conclusions. Corporal punishment is a very common practice among the parents to discipline their children. So they think that it is an integral part. If I say in Sela, that is the very common example they highlighted. They have highlighted. So school and the family play a key role of transferring idea of corporal punishment to the society. Then stubbornness and get control of the children's behavior are the key factors that parents use corporal punishment. It looks more culturally rooted now. Parents know that there are some existence methods, but they are away from them. So also they are well aware about the negative consequences. Based on these conclusions, these are the recommendations we could make. So it is necessary to popularize positive parenting practices into the Sri Lankan culture. Also, create an environment that is sensitive towards children. Also, change the social norm that හැඳි ගන්න නැතුව හදන හොද්ද නරකයි කියන එක. So thank you very much. This is my findings of that district, for the findings of the 4 districts.